Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to deploy a KMeans model with Sagemaker. Okay, so right here, as you guys know, you find out which region you're supposed to use. And then you create your bucket right here. You import the data set. I imported two, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, guys? And then the label encoder. And then here's the important part. I split both of these data sets okay? There's the first one, which I used to train and later test also, and then this one I later test also. So I split them in here, but here's one thing I got to show you for this K-means. Each one of them you're going to train and you're going to use. You got to use the original data frame, whatever you named it, like DF for the first data set, and then data for the second data set I imported. And then you're going to name it whatever, and then you're going to name it whatever down here, and then sfloat32, and then your two targets that you're trying to hit. Mine were credit card and age for the clustering. Okay, guys? You always look at the info right here. Make sure everything there's no non-null values. Otherwise, you gotta get rid of those nons. Okay. Okay. And then right here, you name your job name, but here's one problem. If you keep redoing it, you got to rename your job name each time you do a different training job. Okay? And then right here, I chose 10, that's what I'm saying, because I wanted to get it closer to the centroids. But here's the thing with K-means and machine learning in general, you guys don't always need a testing set. Especially with clustering, it's unsupervised learning, which is what we're doing anyways. It's best to train at this instance, and it's best to use only one count. Role equals execution role and your bucket name. And then you start the training job. Now let's look right here. The distance wasn't too far. I could have added more k equals more, but eventually then what would be the point of clustering if I increase the k's? That's what I noticed. The more I increase the k's, the less the distance, but at some point it defeats the whole purpose of clustering. So I'm going to stick with 10, which is what I did. Because that's the thing, in SageMaker Studio, you don't have the matplotlib to see, where the elbow and the K is. Even then, K could have been 11, and I didn't have time for that. So, and then you deploy. These models usually deploy quicker than your XGBoost and your linear learner, as you can see. Okay, and then what we're going to do is serializers, import CSV like we did with deploy, CSV serializer at that instance. Okay, and then result equals k-means predict the test F from earlier, the test DF, from that same data frame that we split into test and train. Here's the result. Okay, as you can see, there's the values and the distance and closest to cluster. Okay, some of them are better than others. Okay, and then we're going to go down to okay. Okay, here's where we're at. Sorry, it's hard to find it on this page. So many clusters. Okay, result 2 equals data DF. Remember that second data set I imported, the Universal Bank 2? but I split that into test and train. Well, I didn't want to overload the payload and test the train set. So I decided to test a test set size with this. And then as you can see, here's it on completely new data. Let's evaluate distance to cluster. Oh, 6. Okay, this is not really necessarily to get too much into the mathematics of machine learning. This is more of to show you guys some how to deploy using Sagemaker and some tricks. Okay, there's one thing I wanted to remind you guys of. Okay, remember, whenever you do this, you got to make them all as floats, and then you got to do this right here, your two targets. Every time you want to test it on new data, even after it's deployed, use this right here. Okay, guys, and then what was that other thing? Each time you do a training job, because you find out you got a better K or whatever, you change this right here. You got to rename your training job. Now, it's up to you whether you want to add a train set and a test set. It doesn't really matter. You can do both. Okay, guys? And then as you can see, this takes a little less time to deploy. Anyways, guys, I hope you learned from this video. If you guys have any questions, please comment. Thank you, guys. Bye.